Here we go on David Michael Wood's Unfiltered. Catch part 3 of Donald Trump's interview on Newsmax right here.
Mr. President, good to have you back.
Thank you.
Good to see you again. I want to jump right into it. Let's start with immigration. We see the text of this bill last night, which I just think blew a lot of minds. What is this thing? I mean, if 5,000 is now the appropriate limit, anything under 5,000, which is 1.8 million a year, and you have Republicans itching to sign off on this in the Senate. I mean,
well, it's hard to believe because I think it probably would mean the end of their career. This is a Democrat trap. It's a trap for Republicans that would be so stupid, so foolish to sign a bill like this. This bill can't be signed. And it's not only that, it's massive amounts of money going out of town, as we say, going out of town, billions and billions and billions of dollars. And it's so bad on the border. I've never seen anything like it. Actually, it's one of the worst, one of the dumbest bills I've ever seen. I think it's dead, totally dead at the House. I think they have almost unanimous support. But I can't imagine anybody wanting to approve this bill.
Well, I don't understand how you could. I mean, if you're a Republican in the Senate, and that's where it has at least, I think, a few names that are going to back it, how do you let them go 3 years with what they've done and then just give them this lifeline? You know, that this could really help them on this issue, you know, in this next election.
Well,
how do you do that?
They've been doing that by giving billions and trillions of dollars away also. Yeah. This is not that uncommon in the Senate. Yeah. It's impossible to believe, but I did see a very good man. Steve Daines just came totally out, and he's a member of leadership, Senate leadership, and he was very strongly against it. I just saw that announced with great fanfare, frankly, because it deserves fanfare. This is not possible to believe that a thing like this could happen. You already have, you don't need a bill. I had the safest border in the history of our country. We had no bill. I just said, close the border. It's closed. Then I went to Mexico. I negotiated with Mexico. Yeah. They gave us 28,000 troops. They gave us a lot of other things. Stay in Mexico, remain. We called it remain in Mexico. They gave us that. This bill doesn't have anything about remain in Mexico. This bill is impossible to believe that somebody actually negotiated. And he's a very nice guy. Yeah. James is a very nice guy. But this is not a good thing for him.
What's it when you see the president standing on the White House lawn like he did last week, demanding that they give him the power to do something about the border? Yeah. That fraudulent, you know, I mean, it's so phony. I mean, you were the president. You don't need any more power to do what's right here.
I was having a hard time with Congress. I just did it myself. I went to the military. I took money out. We built 561 miles of wall. Yeah. I did it through the military. I called it an invasion. We gave them, $750 billion. I took a little bit out. And we built most of the wall, and we would have had, actually, we built more than I said I was going to build when I was campaigning. Right. But I had another 200 miles to go, and we ordered it. It was built, ready to be installed, could have been done in 3 weeks. Over a 3-week period, could have been done. They sold it for, I heard 10 cents on the dollar. Yeah. And very expensive stuff, special steel, special concrete, rebar, and they sold it. It's just it's not even believable. That's when I realized, I guess they want open borders.
They do. It's terrifying. I want to talk about Iran for a second. I want to talk. We lost 3 soldiers. The previous weekend. You've had hundreds of attacks, and in response to this, you have Joe Biden come out and basically give a huge warning. We're going to do this, and it's been reported it enabled all the bad guys got to scurry away and evade any kind of repercussions for what they did. What kind of foreign policy are we seeing right now?
Well, let me just tell you, we were respected 3 years ago, very respected. We did things that nobody thought were possible. We had peace in the Middle East. We had the Abraham Accords. We signed 4. We would have had another, I think almost everybody, maybe even Iran, as crazy as that sounds, but maybe even Iran. Iran was broke. I wouldn't let people buy. They said it cost $200 billion. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for anybody. They had to stay afloat. And then Biden came in and he gave up on sanctions, gave up on everything, and now they have $200 billion cash. I'm not even talking about the $6 billion they gave for 5 hostages, which is unbelievable, or the $10 billion they gave for electricity for Iraq. We gave them $10 billion.
How are they surprised to see this?
They're very rich. Yeah. But they're also rich because Iraq is a subsidiary of Iran. That's all it is. Stupidly, We went in many years ago and we bombed the hell out of Iraq. And all of a sudden, you had for years, you had two nations for centuries with different names. Fighting. They were the same. They fought. They went 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet. Then they rested 10 feet, 10. Well, we knocked out one of those forces. And now Iran has the whole thing to themselves, and they've essentially taken over Iraq. Iraq has $300 billion. So they have $200 billion quickly made under Biden, and they have $300 billion in Iraq. This is a force now. This is a real force. Plus, you have Russia getting together with China, which he allowed. You have Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is working with China because we treated them so badly. We treated them very badly with great disrespect.
What's it like to see this? I mean, to
even
see
a fist
come
bump.
in and
how about a fist bump?
Yeah, right.
He goes over and he gives a fist bump. You know what a fist bump is? Don't touch my hands.
Right.
Your hands are dirty. You don't do a fist bump with a respected man. It was terrible when I saw that. No, we have a country that's in shambles. It's a shambles what's happened. Our country has never been like this. We're disrespected all over the world. We're a laughing stock.
Well, they came in, they break everything that you did. I mean, they came in and for 3 years, they break everything that you guys put together because we were told that somehow it's bad to have a secure border. It's bad to have all of these things. It's just, it's fascinating to see that they want to just dismantle and they think that that's going to be a winning policy.
We had the safest border in history. The history of our country, we have the safest border. Now we have, I believe, the worst border in the history of the world. There's never been a border like this, ever. I don't care where you go, third world.
How many do you think came in? 20 million? You think? What do you think the number
I think the number will be 18 or 19. That's bigger than New York State. 18 or 19 million people by the end of this catastrophe. This is the worst president in history. He uses weaponization to run for office. Nobody's ever done that, at least only to a minor extent, if done at all. This is third world stuff. He has no respect at all. You talk to foreign leaders, they say, what is this? Is this a joke? And I guess he's going to get the nomination. I said maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Who can believe it?
You think it's going to be him?
Well, he just gave up the Super Bowl interview.
And I'm talking about that. He gives up a free opportunity to speak to every American at the Super Bowl. Every person watches. How do you give that up?
Well, I don't know, but I accepted it. I said, I'll take your place. I actually put it out. I don't know, maybe they get higher ratings, but we'll do an interview. But no, he just turned down the Super Bowl, which I think was a very wise thing. He can't put two sentences together.
It looks terrible to turn
Now, we
that
have a president that's terrible. The one person that's happy is Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy Carter looks brilliant by comparison to this guy. He looks like it was a brilliant administration compared to Biden. Now, it's a very sad thing.
Thank you for watching part 3 of the Donald Trump interview live on Newsmax, right here on David Michael Wood's Unfiltered. And again, if you have not liked or shared this video, make sure you go ahead and do that now. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with David Michael Wood's Unfiltered.